Hello. So I'm Arko Bhattacharya, and this is Entity Expansion for Enterprises. So basically, the whole motivation of this project was to get unstructured text from enterprises and enterprise structure, projects going on, employees, and having all of that consolidated into a knowledge graph and doing so using LLMs. So a big problem is generally that all of this data is pretty messy and kind of getting it into like a proper knowledge graph tends to be super labor intensive, and also maintaining that knowledge graph is super intensive. So using LLMs, we can make this process a lot easier and we can help like maintain knowledge graphs a lot easier as well. So in this project basically has two parts to it. One is like the whole LLM pipeline to generate knowledge graphs through unstructured text, and the other one is inferring knowledge from a knowledge graph and help answering queries based off it. So the first part is a pipeline basically. So for it, I'm using GPT-4o, and what we are doing is basically we have these texts uh, that we have, and we want to do some entity recognition on it, so that we can kind of generate the whole entity and edge things for the knowledge graph. For the knowledge graph, we are using Neo4j. So over here we have a lot of prompt templates as to how to extract knowledge out of the text, and then we have the final pipeline, which then generates the cipher statements, which in turn will populate the knowledge graph, as you can see here. Let me just move this. You can see here, like you have these company names, so like the nodes. Technology is basically in purple, you have the clients in blue, and so on and so forth. So basically, you have these relationships, and like a client is connected to like a internal organization person who has skills and has like these are hashes for Slack messages. So all of this was generated through the LLM, and once we have this, the second part is having a conversational web app where you can ask questions like, let's say, what is the tech stack for Alpha Corp? This takes like around 30 seconds. So in the meantime, I can just show you the actual Streamlit app. So the app is based on Streamlit. It has two components to it. One is the whole chatbot element to it, and the other one is the cipher generation. So the cipher generation and the state management is done through LangChain. So LangChain is something called Graph Cipher QA chain, which helps in managing the cipher generation and like interpretation of it. A lot of fine tuning has been done through prompts and everything, because like out of the box it was not really working that well. But right now, like given a user's query, yeah, right now you can see, right? Given a user's query, it tells you like, okay, like these are the technologies that Alpha Corp is using, and it also shows you the actual cipher query that it generated and the database result. So this kind of introduces the element of transparency, right? As opposed to like a RAG system where you have like a vector DB and you have like a semantic similarity done and you get the results. That's not as traceable to the actual source, right? So you can do this. You can ask follow-up questions that um, what people are linked to Alpha Corp, and then it gives you another result. It will take like around 30 seconds more. But yeah, this is the whole project. this can be expanded not to just like enterprise organizations and projects and skills, but if you want to look into like a financial services industry, right? You can have like all your SEC data. So like, okay, over here you see the people associated with it. We can even ask that what are their respective skill tech skills. Yeah, so I was saying like this can be extended to the financial industry as well, where you get SEC data and like you are mapping, okay, how are organized across organizations, how are the management structures changing, how are their like CIKs changing, if you have any like ongoing news feeds, you can kind of add those entities and relationships to the existing knowledge base, given like the pipeline that I have developed. So pretty excited for it. Over here, you can see like these are the, and it's like a lot of prompt engineering has been done to kind of not hallucinate, right? So if I just go back to the knowledge graph over here, you can see that okay, like all of these relationships and not like this is pretty the retrieval is pretty rigid and like the chances of hallucination is kind of reduced, and that's the whole point of having like a knowledge graph instead of a RAG, because like when you scale it, it's kind of like very ephemeral. RAGs are generally very ephemeral, and like a graph-based system is much more reliable in these cases. So, yep, that has been E3, my project for Duke AI Hack.